Hi, I'm Mike Cherniffsky, and you are listening to This Podcast is Uncalled For. Welcome, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great day. And I want to thank Heather for inspiring today's episode. She wanted to talk about all sorts of sports stuff and not talked down to, but make it a little more understandable for people. And what's a better way to start something like that than to talk about all the weird stuff that's been done to or associated with the Stanley Cup. No, I'm not talking about the trendy coffee mug thermos things that have been popping up lately. No, I'm talking about the championship trophy for the National Hockey League, Lord Stanley's Cup. A few things about it before we get into some of the stories is that this is just one cup. All right, one big trophy that they win it every single year in the National Hockey League, but they don't get to keep it. They don't put up a new one every single year. No, it is one trophy that the team wins it. The players get a day with it. It has bodyguards all over the place. All that. So, yeah. And it is, at the time of this recording, it might not be the case by the time this releases, but at the time this is recorded, is currently held by the Vegas Golden Knights. I kid you not. For context, the NHL fairly recently expanded, adding teams in Las Vegas, of all places, and Seattle. Well, the Vegas team has actually done pretty well for themselves, not only winning the Stanley Cup, but their first year of existence, they got to the Cup Finals, losing to Washington, which is pretty cool. So let's turn our attention to the Wikipedia page, Traditions and Anecdotes Associated with the Stanley Cup. There are many traditions and anecdotes associated with the Stanley Cup, the championship trophy of the National Hockey League, commonly referred to as simply the Cup, the Grail, Lord Stanley's Cup, Lord Stanley's Mug. Unlike the trophies awarded to the other three major professional sports in the U.S. and Canada, NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, excuse me, we're talking about the NHL trophy. A new Stanley Cup is not made annually. The champions keep the cup until a new champion is crowned. It's also one of two trophies in professional North American sports, which has the name of the winning players, teams, management, and club staff engraved on it. The other being the Canadian Football League's Grey Cup. It is at the center of several legends and superstitions. Many of the anecdotes include the Stanley Cup being mistreated in some way. It is the most traveled championship trophy in the world. Traditions include drinking out of it. So it is a cup. At the end of the day, it is just a giant bowl. Of course, one of the great traditions is to drink champagne out of it, and that was started in 1896. There's an on-ice presentation of the cup every year. The captain of the winning team will usually be the first to lift it, which is pretty darn cool. There are exceptions to this, and there's another superstition with the cup that you're not supposed to touch it if you're a player until you've actually won it. All right, and the players don't touch other trophies either, like the conference trophies. Yeah, no touching. There's always money in the banana stand. No touching. So, yeah. So for the next part, let's go to an article on mentalfloss.com by Sean Hutchinson. Titled 22 Things You Might Not Know About the Stanley Cup. 1. The Stanley Cup is named after Frederick Arthur, Lord Stanley of Preston, who was the Governor General of Canada in the late 1800s, near the turn of the century. Governor General is still a position that exists in Canada. They're basically the sovereigns. Canada is still part of the Commonwealth of Nations, so they answered to English royalty. There are actually 3 Stanley Cups, so the one we associate with now is called the first one. Stanley's original cup from 1892 was awarded until 1970, is now on display in the Vault Room at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. In 1963, NHL President Clarence Campbell believed the original cup had become too brittle to give to championship teams, so the presentation cup was created and is the well-known trophy awarded today. Skeptics can authenticate the presentation cup by noting the Hockey Hall of Fame seal on the bottom. And the final cup is a replica of the presentation cup, which was created in 1993 by Montreal silversmith Louis Saint-Jacques. And he's used as a stand-in at the Hall of Fame when the presentation cup isn't available. Like we just said, it's one of a kind. They don't make a new one every single year, unlike Lombardi trophies or the Larry O'Brien trophy. And it's always changing because one of the things they do is the team that wins it, they get their roster and key personnel stamped into the physical cup. All right. More and more teams wanted to be immortalized, so the decision was made to put a separate single ring below the original cup that each new winning roster could be etched on it. Between 1927 and 1947, a new, more streamlined and vertical incarnation of the cup was used. Thanks to the cylindrical shape, it was nicknamed the Stovepipe Cup, but by 1948 the trophy had become too tall to hold or put on display, so the shape was changed to the tiered version used today. And those rings are, in fact, detachable. Since 1958, 5 bands of championship names are engraved around the base of the cup, when the when the rings become full, the oldest band is removed and preserved in Lord Stanley's vaults at the Great Esso Hall in the Hockey Hall of Fame. A blank replacement band is then put in its place to be filled with the champion, with the names of the next champions. If all the rings in the archive were added to the current Stanley Cup, it would be 6 feet tall, 6'3", actually, which is taller than me. Actually, 6'1". The NHL, as official engravers, put each name into the cup. So that's pretty cool. Right. And it's not always perfect because they do screw up from time to time. And no, we're only human. So they give a few examples of names being misspelled on the cup, like the 1980-81 New York Islanders, spelled on the cup Ilanders, missing an S. The 1971-72 Boston Bruins, with Boston being spelled BQSTQN. Right. And corrections have been made from time to time. When 96 champion in Colorado Avalanche Adam Deadmarsh, one of my favorite players, spelled Dead March, and it should be DEADMARSH. It was spelled DEADMARCH on the cup. It was stamped down or corrected after he publicly stated how heartbroken he was about the error. And sometimes the winning teams don't play by the rules. The NHL will allow no more than 52 names on each year's winning team to be engraved, with the assumption that the people included are affiliated with or have played with that club during the finals. But Peter Pocklington, the former Edmonton Oiler owner, perhaps best known for trading away Wayne Gretzky, insists that his father be one of the names listed on the A3, A4 Oilers, despite the fact that his father isn't officially affiliated with the team. The league had the engraver strike out the father's name on with a bunch of X's. Right. There can be extenuating circumstances. So when the Detroit Red Wings won in '98, the team asked that Vladimir Konstantinov have his name be engraved, even though he didn't play that year. And the reason is pretty tragic for those who don't know. Before that season, he got into a pretty serious car wreck and was paralyzed. So, there are also a couple instances where no names were inscribed at all. Like when the cup wasn't awarded in 1919 due to the flu pandemic, or in 2004-2005 because the entire season was locked out. Some people make multiple appearances on the Stanley Cup, which makes sense if you're putting new names on it every single year. Right? Here's an interesting one. One fan tried to steal a cup, but not for the reason you'd expect. So, Montreal fans are so possessive of the cup that during the 1962 playoffs, when the cup was on display at Chicago Stadium for the defending champion Blackhawks. Habs fan Ken Killander attempted to take the cup and walk right out the door with it. When the police officer caught and questioned him, Killander responded, "I want to take it back where it belongs, to Montreal." Which brings up a great question. Which team has won the Stanley Cup the most? It is, in fact, Montreal, 24 times. Stanley Cup isn't only for men. So that's Q. And some people are superstitious about it. So we talked about this just a minute ago. Various players are wary of the cup if they haven't won it yet, and steer clear if they're still in contention. In fact, some players from the conference championship teams won't even touch the respective Western and Eastern Conference trophies so that they don't jinx their team's chances at winning the Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup has a chaperone. The Stanley Cup is always associated by at least one representative of the Hockey Hall of Fame, dubbed the Keeper of the Cup. The current keeper has held the position since 1991 and even maintains a Twitter account to update followers on where the cup goes from day to day. Way back when the cup was donated by Lord Stanley, he mandated that 2 trustees must always be appointed to care for the cup and ensure it was kept in proper condition. A tradition that still holds to this day. So, that's pretty cool. The cup belongs to the players for one day. Now we're starting to get into some weird stuff. So the NHL allows each championship team 100 off-season days with the cup, accompanied by the keeper, of course, to do with it as they wish. It was the 94-95 New Jersey Devils who formalized the tradition by giving each player one personal day with the cup during the off-season. In fact, since the 03 season, the Hall of Fame has been keeping journals of the cup's travels with each winning team. Some players use their day with the trophy for peaceful reflection. Others have gone a bit wild. Now we're getting into some good stuff. So, the Stanley Cup has gone swimming at least 3 times. Following the 91 victory over the Minnesota North Stars, the Pittsburgh Penguins legend Mario Lemieux hosted the team at his house. When Lemieux wasn't looking, Penguins winger Phil Bourque decided he wanted to see if the cup could float. And threw the trophy into the swimming pool. It didn't float and immediately sank straight to the bottom. 2 years later, the cup was also found in the bottom of Montreal Canadiens goaltender Patrick Roy's pool. And 2002, Red Wings goaltender Dominik Hasek attempted to swim with the cup. The keeper and he demanded Hasek dry off the trophy and give it back, thus cutting short his allotted personal day. The Stanley Cup does not float. The Stanley Cup once spent all night in an Ottawa canal. It's go 1905 when the Ottawa Hockey Club, now known as the Ottawa Senators, won the cup in 1905. The members of the Silver Seven had a little too much fun celebrating, and after a team banquet, some not so sober players brought the trophy outside allegedly decided to test their accuracy by kicking the cup into the Rideau Canal in Ottawa. Once successful, they went on their drunken way and forgot all about it until their teammates realized the next day the trophy was missing. This cup was retrieved and given to a player named Harry Smith, the most responsible man on the team for safekeeping. 1924, the Montreal Canadiens forgot it on the side of the road. When the members of the 1924 Habs got a flat tire on the way to the victory banquet at owner Leo Dandonard's house. These are Canadians, some of them speak French. Alright. They had to remove the cup from the trunk of the car to go get the spare tire. The players, eager to celebrate their win, quickly changed the tire and made their way to the party. But while the traditional time came to drink champagne from the cup, it was nowhere to be found. They had left it on the side of the road. They hopped in their car, sped back to the place where they changed the flat, and found the cup in the snowbank right where they had left it. This was not the first time Montreal hockey team had forgotten the cup. Children have been baptized in the cup, which has started with the Colorado Avalanche. 1996, the defenseman Sylvain Lefebvre used his personal day with the cup to have his daughter baptized in the cup. A similar thing happened recently in the New Heights podcast with Jason Kelsey putting his youngest child in the Stanley Cup. So that's cool. It's reportedly seen its fair share of vice. The Edmonton Oilers were forced to be reckoned with in the 80s. Between 1984 and 1990, the team won 5 Stanley Cups and were led by 2 hockey greats, Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier. The legend has it after their 87 win, Messier brought the cup to an Edmonton strip club and set the trophy on the main stage. One of the dancers at the club then reportedly incorporated the cup into her risque routine. This is a new one on me. We won the cup again in '94 with the New York Rangers. Messier and his teammates brought the trophy to another strip club. Alright, so make it rain with the Stanley Cup. It might hold a curse. When Messier and the Rangers won in '94, it ended a record 54-year championship droughts for the Rangers. Fans believe that the curse might have been brought on because the Rangers disrespected the cup. Well, what explains Toronto's long cup droughts? I think they're about to go as long, if not longer, unless they win it this year, of course. I think no Canadian team has won it since '94. The last time Montreal won it in the '90s. And the cup has gone to war in 2007. To boost morale for Canadian and American troops serving in the Middle East, the cup was flown into an active war zone in Afghanistan for a meet and greet. So, wow, just wow. Yeah, adventures. Going back to the Wikipedia, so we got players there with the cup, uh, all that. Ooh, misadventures. So we talked about the cup being kicked into the canal. 1906, weeks after members of the Montreal Wanderers left it at a photographer's studio, and the photographer's mother used the cup to plant flowers. In 1907, a Kenora Thistles team manager threatened to throw the cup into the Lake of the Woods in a dispute over the eligibility of two players. A couple of being left on the side of the road. In 1940-41, the mortgage on Madison Square Garden was paid. The management publicly celebrated by burning the mortgage in the cup. And this is what's caused that curse that they just talked about in the article. In 1957, Maurice Reckitt Richard chipped both of his front teeth while drinking from the Stanley Cup. We have that story with the fan that tried to steal it. 1962, Toronto Maple Leafs win it during a party. After the win, the cup was dropped on a bonfire and badly damaged, and it was repaired at the team's expense. 1964, Red Kelly of the Toronto Maple Leafs posed with a photo with his son sitting in the cup. So he did the. So this must have been the initial Jason Kelce moment. Only to find that the child had urinated. So the first instance of the Stanley Cup being used as a toilet. Kelly was quoted years later saying that it always since made him laugh to see other players drinking out of the cup. The presentation trophy we talked about. We have an instance of an Islanders player filling the cup with dog food. We have another Islanders player. He slept with the cup, and others have too. The strip club, the throwing in the pool. The Stanley Cup does not float. Noted Guy Carbonneau, the Montreal captain. After the Montreal Canadiens Cup win in 93. So 93 is the last time a Canadian team has won this. Members of the team apparently signed their names on the inside of the cup with a sharp object. Lovely. Alright. Oh, this is a good one. After the parade in their honor in 94, members of the New York Rangers, including Mike Richter, took the cup to McSorley's Old Ale House, locked the doors, and for 45 minutes allowed the patrons to hoist it above their heads and drink McSorley's Dark and Light out of it. And the New York Post reported the next day that the cup was taken back by the league for repairs to its base. And later, several Rangers took the cup to Belmont Park, filled it with oats, and let Kentucky Derby winner Gopher Gin eat out of it. So that's pretty cool. 99, Dallas Stars. Part of associates Craig Ludwig's house, which he shared with Pantera drummer Vinnie Paul. At the party, Guy Carbonneau, we heard him earlier talking about the cup does not float, allegedly attempted to throw the cup from the upstairs deck into the house's crown royal shaped pool. The cup caught the lip of the pool, producing a large dent. One of the keeper's cups stated that this had never happened before. What happened was one of the players was posing with it next to the pool when someone pushed him in the water and went in with him. It was in water maybe 2 seconds. Good part. Oh my god. 99 and 03, the Cup made a trip to Joe Newendike's alma mater, Cornell, both times visiting a local college bar. In 2003, Martin Brodeur, one of the best goalies of all time, ate popcorn out of the cup. It had butter stains and salt damage for the next 8 days before Jamie Langenbrunner cleaned it. 03, the Cup was slated to make its first ever visit to Slovakia, but was left behind in Canada. It was on the next flight out to Toronto. Oh my god. In 04, the keeper of the Cup boarded a plane for Fort St. John, British Columbia, to deliver it to Tampa Bay Lightning's head scout Jake Gertzen. Apologies. However, Air Canada officials at Vancouver International Airport removed it before takeoff because of weight restrictions. The Cup spent the night in the luggage area. 750 miles away. It was flown to Fort St. John the next day. 07, a photo shoot on the set of the NBC TV series Heroes had showed a couple actors goofing off with the cup, even worshipping and flogging and liking the cup. Oh my god. Oh, great one right here. Also in May of 07, the Cup made it to the set of ABC's Boston Legal. In the episode Duck and Cover, Danny Crane, played by William Shatner, who is himself Canadian, pulled some strings to get his hands on the cup for a day. While on loan, he takes it up to the office where he decides to engrave his name on it, noting that they'll never notice. It's got so many dings on it already. He took it to his penthouse office patio where he decides to drink scotch out of it. After they take turns drinking out of the cup, Danny sits on the balcony ledge with preparation, taking photos with it, but accidentally knocks it over. That will leave a significant ding. Oh, 07, Anaheim wins it. Their captain, Scott Niedermayer, brides to the set of Jim Rome. And went on set, one of the producers hoisted and posed with the cup, which pissed off a bunch of Canadians. Don Cherry called into the program to defend the producer, saying his belief that he did not disrespect the cup at all. Oh. Oh, man. 2008, this is a good one. 2008, Def Leppard's Joe Elliott placed the cup upside down on a pedestal on stage during one of their NHL Face-Off Rocks segments at the Fox Theater in Detroit. Red Wings defenseman Chris Chelios claims the musician disgraced the cup on purpose. We should point out that Def Leppard is a British band, and most soccer trophies in England, the cup is the cup portion is the base. That was Elliot's excuse. Shortly after the incident, an article on Def Leppard's website appeared with Elliot claiming that every other sports cup he had ever seen before that was smaller at the base than at the top, so he thought this cup was no different. Oh man, some good stuff. I'm just gonna be leave you to laugh, and let's do one more article. So this is Bleacher Report's. Probably gonna go over the same shit all over again, but if you're interested, Stanley Cup, 16 craziest things ever done with the Stanley Cup by Matthew Fairburn on BleacherReport.com. I'll just summarize. So, Messier taken into strip clubs. Okay, we already talked about that. The Stars tossed it out. I just talked about that. And Guy Carbonneau. This one I didn't touch on, but Chris Draper's child uses the cup as a diaper. So another example of the Stanley Cup being used as a toilet. This one was actually the guy's daughter taking a shit into the took a shit in the Stanley Cup. Kentucky Derby. Yeah, we heard that. Lemieux Watt took it swimming. It didn't float. Red Kelly, we already touched on the first season. Rocket Richard. See the dogs eating it. Cup heading overseas. Oh, this is one I'm gonna have to read this one. So, it's tough to believe that the Stanley Cup did not leave North America until 1996, but took that long before a European-born player used his day with the cup to bring it back home. When the Avalanche won it all in '96, Peter Forsberg from Sweden became the first to bring Lord Stanley's hardware overseas. So we had the baptism. We just talked about the cup being on Boston legal. The cup as a soccer ball. We talked about it with the 05 Ottawa team. The cup being left behind. Celebratory bonfire. The cup goes Hollywood. The Stanley Cup has seen its fair share of Hollywood. Luc Robitaille took it to the Hollywood sign. As rented a ride at Universal Studios Hollywood. He even participated in the Rose Bowl parade in '08 after Anaheim claimed hockey's top prize. And of course, paying off the mortgage, as we talked about. So yeah, lots of crazy shit has been done to that trophy, and I guarantee you that more crazy shit is going to happen to that trophy. All right, just wow, just fucking wow, and that's going to do for this edition of the podcast. We'll talk to you next time. This podcast is uncalled for. It is hosted, produced, and edited by myself, Mike Chernevsky, who has never won the Stanley Cup. Opening music is Iron Bacon by Kevin MacLeod and Comptech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. And our outro music for this episode is Breakpoint by Nadia, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 international license. And you can find it at freemusicarchive.org.
If you are in the United States or Canada, you can call us at 816-832-5160. Leave your message or question for us, and if we like it, we will play it on the podcast. Please support the podcast and purchase our exclusive uncalled for merchandise. T-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and so much more. Go to www.cafepress.com/uncalledforpod. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time.